Hola y'all, I'm Jessie, a Southern twist to an Italian classic. We're gonna be making spectacular Southern spaghetti bake. I know this is gonna sound super weird, but it's totally true. My family's not really crazy about tradicional spaghettis, traditional spaghetti. And I knew that I wanted some Italian dishes to land in my house somehow. I have a lot of picky eaters, so I have to do some things sometimes to get them to even put it in their mouth and try it. And so that's where this recipe comes in. I have to give a little bit of a shout out because I had a lasagna from a good friend of ours years ago, and she replaced the ricotta cheese with cream cheese. Total game changer. Completely changed the dish. Again, I know it's not tradicional, está bien, no es problema para mí, but the flavor is all that matters, and my family really liked it, and they do not normally eat lasagna or spaghetti with marinara or red sauce. Now, I make a Cajun chicken fettuccine they absolutely love, but red sauce is a little bit different. So this has, if you haven't guessed already, it has cream cheese in it and a little bit of milk and a few other ingredients that I have found makes it to where my crew loves to eat it. And that's really all that matters.
I'm gonna place my 1 pound of ground deer meat into a cast iron skillet, and I'm just gonna cook this and break it up until it's completely browned. Now it's time to add half a tablespoon of garlic powder, half a tablespoon of onion powder, Now it's time to add seasoning salt. My favorite is Tony's, so that's what I added here. It just gives it a little bit more flavor than just regular salt and pepper. And I'm gonna stir that in really well. And as you can see, since I have the garlic and onion powder in there, you wanna make sure that that does not stick to the bottom and burn. So it's time for me to add some liquid so that that does not happen. I'm gonna add in my 1 can of Rotel tomatoes, and then I'm gonna add in my favorite store-bought marinara sauce, which is Newman's Own. Finally, it's time to add 1 teaspoon of dried basil leaves. Take 8 ounces of cream cheese and half a cup of milk and melt it in the microwave. Now that my water for the pasta is boiling, I'm going to add a generous amount of salt, and then I'm going to add my 1 pound of spaghetti, and I like to break it in half. I know there are Italians screaming everywhere, but this makes it easier for my family to serve and eat.
Fun fact, the word spaghetti in Espanol es los espaguetis. It's such a fun word to say.
Okay, here is the cream cheese and milk mixture that we melted in the microwave earlier. And to this, I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, and I'm gonna mix that together really well. To this mixture, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder. Remember, we are here to layer flavors, and that is exactly what we're gonna do.
The addition of the cream cheese really keeps los espaguetis, it keeps them moist, it keeps them from drying out, and that's fantastic because I've made a spaghetti bake before and the noodles got kind of crusty and hard, and they just absorbed all the marinara, and when it came out, it was just super dry, and no one likes dry spaghetti. So the cream cheese kind of coats the noodles, it keeps them moist and wet, but when you add on layers of garlic powder, onion powder, and basil, it's also flavorful. So we're just layering these flavors. We're bringing in new textures that are creamy because cream cheese is a lot creamier than ricotta. It just is. Now it's time to assemble. So I just placed a little bit of the meat sauce on the bottom of the baking dish. I actually lined my baking dish with foil because it's easy cleanup, but also because this particular baking dish of mine is severely damaged and I couldn't find my glass baking dish. So I just put foil over it. But I'm gonna put down a little bit of meat sauce so that my noodles do not get the chance to stick. Next comes our cream cheese, milk, and Parmesan cheese mixture. And I'm gonna spread this over the noodles and then I'm gonna mix it all together. This is kind of like a replacement. If you're thinking of a lasagna, this is kind of like a replacement for ricotta cheese. And this helps keep the noodles really moist when they are baked in the spaghetti bake. It just makes a huge difference. Trust me, you are going to love it. After mixing the spaghetti noodles with the cream cheese mixture really well, making sure that it's fully coated, I'm gonna start adding in my meat sauce. Now I'm not gonna let the meat sauce just sit on top. I'm gonna also mix it into the spaghetti noodles just like I did the cream cheese mixture. One last sprinkling of dried basil leaves, and this is ready to go into a 350-degree oven until the cheese is melted and it is thoroughly heated, about 30 minutes. I also noticed with the addition of the cream cheese and of course the mozzarella on top that the sprinkling of the dried basil leaves, it almost looks like large flakes of black pepper. And this espaguetis looks way more white, más blanco que rojo. It looks way more white than red. So it might throw a few people, but it really is spaghetti and it really is marinara sauce and a meat sauce and cheese and Parmesan and all those great things, just with a little creamy addition, a little creamy surprise on the inside. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you make it for your family, and be sure to subscribe.